The story of GameStop. The news to bring you right now is that Melvin Capital Management, this is the hedge fund that had shorted this company, that had effectively been attacked by an army of investors trying to push up and press up the stock of GameStop along the way. Melvin Capital is now out of the stock. They got out of the stock, from what I understand, yesterday afternoon. I just got off the telephone with Gabriel Plotkin, who runs that firm. They've taken a rather huge loss. I do not have the full number on what that loss looked like. As was reported yesterday, both Citadel and Point72 have infused something on the order of close to $3 billion into Melvin Capital to try to shore up its finances. There's nothing normal about what you're seeing when it comes to this stock right now, but a lot to be concerned about when you think about what's happening here.
I love it when the people hold Wall Street accountable. It's very rare that you see an instance of what we've seen today with GameStop, with what's happening with GameStop. GameStop was in a very precarious position as we headed out of 2020. I want to play a clip from CNBC, and you can get a better idea. Now, before we play the clip, let me just give you a little context. Here's what you should understand. When investors short an investment, a stock, they're betting that that stock is going to fail and that that company is going to fail. We saw this in the 2007, 2008, 2009 financial crisis. A big component of the financial crisis was investors betting against the economy, betting against the housing market. And so when users on Reddit saw that the investment house, Melvin Investments, voted against, or rather put money against GameStop, users all across the internet got together and propped up to the stock to the point where now Wall Street honestly does not know what to do. Take a listen to this clip.
We have some breaking news right now on what has turned into the soap opera and saga of the markets right now, and that is the story of GameStop. The news to bring you right now is that Melvin Capital Management, this is the hedge fund that had shorted this company, that had effectively been attacked by an army of investors trying to push up and press up the stock of GameStop along the way. Melvin Capital is now out of the stock. They got out of the stock, from what I understand, yesterday afternoon. I just got off the telephone with Gabriel Plotkin, who runs that firm. They've taken a rather huge loss. I do not have the full number on what that loss looked like. As was reported yesterday, both Citadel and Point72 have infused something on the order of close to $3 billion into Melvin Capital to try to shore up its finances. At this point is whether some of these investors will actually start to get out today. They'll look at this and say, we won the game, if that's winning. Unclear,
it is winning.
Where the finish line is in that regard. But as much pain as they may have created for Melvin Capital, for example, there's nothing normal about what you're seeing when it comes to this stock right now. But a lot to be concerned about when you think about what's happening here. Where are the regulators? And is this just the beginning?
Can y'all understand why I enjoy this story so much? Go ahead, Monday.
Well, part of it is like this is disgusting. If y'all don't know what goes on Wall Street and the speculation and how they make money, mainly because who they allow to trade and not trade, and what happens and how people trade, this is a perfect story. First of all, this story all started, back when Cohan, the guy who founded the dog food Chewy, online dog food Chewy. This guy bought a massive amount of GameStop stock, like 13%. And when he did that, he wrote a massive scathing letter to the board and the CEO. He actually wrote it to the press about them, the board and the CEO, about how they squandered so much market share, because this is an old company, right? Like I think the early 90s or 80s or whatever.
It's been out forever.
They didn't transition. Exactly. They didn't transition, and they gave up so much market share because they didn't do right. So what happened was, they ended up putting him on the board, and extended board with some of his other investors, right? And when they came on, people that they call amateur traders. This is all about the crookedness of licensing, right? Who can and can't participate in certain parts of our economy. And exactly, and Wall Street especially. These people thought they were going to use their flex power and say, guess what? We're gonna break you, Cohen, for calling out our friend and our friends on that board, and these little people who are basically falsely evaluating your company because they're amateur. They kept calling them amateurs, and it's like, yo, anything I do with my money makes me a professional at it, right? Like if I'm buying furniture with my money, I'm a professional furniture buyer, point blank, period. And what they found out real quick was,
don't mess with
your white boy privilege. Your white boy privilege used to sound good, but right now it's democratized, and this is going to change Wall Street. I bet you, Ben, your excitement will transfer to curriculum. They're going to teach about Wall Street Bit, which is the subreddit that's responsible for shutting this down and showing these a-holes that they're no longer in control. This is a death to Wall Street, a blow to Wall Street like we haven't seen before.
My favorite part, but Rebecca, I'm gonna toss it to you, and then Darren, then James. My favorite part of that clip was when he said, "Where are the regulators?" And I'm like, you weren't worried about regulators in 2007, 2008, 2009. Y'all don't want regulators. Don't try to put regulators on the people, because the people got together and gave you a big middle finger, Wall Street, and we gonna do it again, Rebecca.
You don't play with no gamers. You know what? I want that same energy in all these other areas. But let's start with that. You don't play with no gamers. When they like, not gaming.
That's actually prolific. That's actually a prolific statement.
That's a dope statement.
You don't play with gamers. That's like double entendre on double entendre.
Yeah. I said something right there.
Hey, hashtag that. Y'all get that on Twitter. Hashtag you don't play with gamers. Go ahead, Rebecca.
But no, that's really all I have to say. It shows a good example of how when folks come together, stuff can be done. Like, we can literally shut down these supremacists. We can shut down these capitalists. We can definitely make sure that we're saving things. So let's use this as a really great example that we can definitely invade this.
I'm sorry, Rebecca.
And take control of and do the opposite of what they think that we can do. People together, it's one of the things. We are a force to be reckoned with, people. So when we get together and show that we can change things and we can dominate things and we can force the hand of the slave masters, like it definitely, it's a big difference.
Come on. Hey, she said we can get rid of capitalism. I'm over here just shimmying. I'm like, don't get it twisted.
But that's a big deal.
We are repackaged, but we the same Negroes we've been since day one, square one. Darren, how did that make you? I am really happy about that clip, because this is filled with capitalist tears. Go ahead, man.
No, this is the first I'm actually hearing about this whole GameStop saga, but it's hard to follow up what Rebecca said, how you don't mess with gamers, which is good.
Yep.
Now, look, for me, selfishly, I wish I'd have known about the GameStop stock being that low, so I could have bought into it.
Like,
bought a
for
lot
real.
into it to where it shoot up to where 350% now. Ooh, that's the only thing.
Oh yeah, no, it blew up, and it is amazing. James, don't play with gamers.
Don't play with gamers. You said it right. Nothing else to say after that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
But
I'm sorry. I thought my apologies, Darren. I don't mean to cut you. I thought you were finished. Darren, finish that thought, and then James.
No, I was through.
Okay, good, James. My bad.
It's a delay in your system, Ben.
It's the internet.
Oh, a very bad delay. He talking about, okay. Anywho, yeah, but Echo, you don't play with gamers, man. I'm the same way. And had I known about it, I know I would have jumped in there. Like, for real.
I would have thrown. I wish I had known about it too. I need to get back on these social medias and these Reddits so I could be a part of that, because it went down to $8. And what's it at now? Like, it's something unbelievable. But they almost
like $87,
went out of business.
Bro. It's like
My God.
Oh my!
They ended. Listen, they were losing billions, but they closed 300 plus stores.
And
watch what.
This is gonna bring them back. I was gonna say no. Like they were in a bad position, because don't get me wrong. Like GameStop is an institution, but there are a couple of moves that they could have been making over the last couple of years that would have put them in a better financial position, just from a business perspective. That's neither here nor there. The fact that they try to destroy the company, and the people said, hell no. It's just something I'm like,
I love it.
I could celebrate the rest of the day on that. Anybody else got any other thoughts on that story? Because like, if you let me, we'll dance about that the rest of the day.
I mean, this is the year. I mean, not within the calendar year, but it's within a year, meaning 365 days, that we saw white supremacy get his ass whooped and Wall Street. That's the first to discuss.
It's so good. It feels so good.
Y'all speaking so much this morning.
That man was so, bro. He was so. Did you see how nervous he was being? He was
so sad.
He looked like they were coming for him. Where are the regulators?
Can we do
the regulators?
Can we do the
regulators?
Can we do the video one more time with the reaction shot? We're going to pause and stop because he was about to cry a couple of spots in this video. I'm not going to lie. Rebecca, you about to say something. Go ahead, real quick.
No. I was right with Mondale. Go ahead. Let's roll that video.
Let's roll that video one more time so we can enjoy these tears just a little bit longer.
We have some breaking news right now on what has turned into the soap opera and saga of the markets right now, and that is the story of GameStop.
Mondale gets a roasting.
The news to bring you right now is that Melvin Capital Management,
dollar sign necktie
hedge fund that had shorted
he ain't had a real haircut since Wall Street opened this morning, boy.
By an army of investors trying to push up and press up the stock, the stock rather, of GameStop along the way. Melvin Capital is now out of the stock. They got out of the stock, from what I understand, yesterday afternoon. I just got off the telephone with Gabriel Plotkin, who runs that firm. They've taken a rather huge...
Pause it real quick. He got off the phone with the guy who's losing money, and he's reporting that shit as news. Come on, man.
Listen, Ben. Did you listen? Look how nervous they are for each other. Immediately, two other billionaire firms, multi-billion firms, start investing money into these losers. Like I'd be like, yo, that's bad. Think about that. If a black person goes to the bank and like, hey, I just lost all my money. Right. All my money from all my family members that invested in me.
Ain't nobody come to help you.
I need another $1 billion. They can look at me like, boy.
Nobody wants to go and report that.
They gonna call the
cops and say you trying to rob us. That's what they gonna say.
Definitely.
You came here trying to rob us. So go ahead with this robbery.
Press play.
Loss. I do not have the full number on what that loss looked like. As was reported yesterday,
was so dramatic.
Both Citadel and Point72 have infused something on the order of close to $3 billion into Melvin Capital to try to shore up.
Pause. That's what you talk about, Mondale. When they lose, people come help them out. We laid on our student loans, and they come and do what they do. But this boy is really struggling. He's probably having a drink this morning. Because this was this morning.
You see? He's so hurt. Like he's like, where were the regulators? Where
are the regulators?
Keep going. Let's get there. Go ahead.
Its finances at this point is whether some of these investors will actually start to get out today. They'll look at this and say, we won the game. If that's winning, unclear.
Pause. It is winning.
It is winning.
He know
they just roasted y'all asses on Wall Street. Go ahead, Rick.
And what's fun? It's funny because they don't even know. The game probably don't even know the system or how major or this thing they just did, right? They just knew, y'all tried it. We're definitely not. No, we're not letting y'all come in and take what's ours. I need to game in the morning.
Or maybe what people, that's what I'm trying to tell people. Or maybe they have an algorithm where they do know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they do know.
That's why you can't play with gamers.
Don't play with gamers.
That's why you can't play with gamers. That's why I was saying. That's why you can't play with gamers. They got that cheat code. Like Vulture.
They got that cheat code, Mondale.
The whole cheat code. Yeah, the whole year and a half to get stuff done. So y'all don't mess with gamers. That's messing with their money. What else we got to do
mess with pandemic? Money.
YouTubers on gamers on YouTube.
Twitch.
Man,
don't play with their coins.
Man, I know Twitch users that make 10 times as much as anything we could imagine, and they just stream all day. Don't play with these folks' money. Let's keep playing because he still got to cry about the regulators. Go ahead.
Where the finish line is in that regard, but as much pain as they may have created for Melvin Capital, for example, it's just there's nothing normal about what you're seeing when it comes to this stock right now.
Boss. Let's make this stuff normal. Let's normalize making Wall Street cry.
Yes.
Hey, Ben, you want to know something that's funny to me?
What's that?
This bastard, so comfortable in his whiteness and his riches, talking about Wall Street and Melvin like we're supposed to feel bad that they just they try to bet against a company and basically make money off that company failing. Not to mention Wall Street made trillions this year in 2020 while people were starving. Where was his outrage? Why was he calling for regulators on poverty and hunger?
Right. Ugh, I love it. I love it. Keep it. Let's keep going because the best part is still coming. Go ahead.
A lot to be concerned about when you think about what's happening here. Where are the regulators? And is this just the beginning?
Where are they?
I hope it is.
Yes, this is just the beginning. We're coming for everybody because Wall Street has been devastating normal Americans. Most people ain't got money on. There's two economies. Most of us ain't got nothing in Wall Street. And so y'all want us to shed? No, we're not shedding tears. I can't say what we're going to be doing. Go ahead. Anybody else getting there?
Gamers, please teach us your ways. Gamers, please teach us your ways because the formula, that's what we need. And if we work together, we can definitely destroy capitalism.
Rinse and repeat. Oh my God.
Hey, I'm an underdog type of guy, man. I take people like black quarterbacks against white quarterbacks. Let's go Kansas. Let's go Kansas City. I take
for sure.
I take Tucson Overture and his little slave army.
Let's go Haiti.
Napoleon Bonaparte. You know what I'm saying? I take Jomo Kenyatta against the whole British Empire. That's the freedom of Kenya. I take the 13 colonies against British. Against Britain. I take black people against slavery. Hell yeah, I take gamers against Wall Street.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I don't think that's a game they want to play. Go ahead, Derek.
My blackness wins out every time. I can't, it's what he says. I'm like him, man. Patrick over anybody else. Eric Bieniemy over this Mike Kafka, quarterbacks coach here in Kansas City that the white media is trying to prop up down here. Right, and man, I'm with you, man. The only thing I'm glad that's not black is my teeth. But other than that, hey, man, I'm telling you, what I'm saying.
Hey, I'll be real, man. I'm rooting for everybody black.
Yeah. I'm rooting for everybody black.
Hey, Darren, sometimes black teeth are good, man, if you're using that activated charcoal toothpaste.
I use that, though, and it helps definitely whiten really well. The charcoal toothpaste, definitely. I use Hello. It's really good. Really good.
I love it. Yeah.
I love it. I'm rooting for everybody black.
We do have a lot of other stories that we could talk about, and so we could do that. But I definitely, David and Jake and the whole production team, clip this segment and share it with the gamers because we want solidarity with gamers because there's so many black gamers, let alone just all the entire gamer community, but solidarity with gamers against Wall Street, period.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I like that.
Let's take a break, man. Let's twerk. Let's twerk about it. Go ahead, Mundell. Go ahead, Mundell.
Before we twerk about it, I'm telling you, I'm seeing a new shirt. Don't play with gamers is a shirt. It's a thing, but also the name of the store is Game. Listen, Ben, the name of the store is GameStop. Put Wall Street in front of that. Wall Street, the game stops now. Like what?
Wall Street, we need all those shirts
now. Okay, so my soul is on fire. Right
and then have everybody who quoted it at the bottom to make sure we get our accreditation. But we sent a lot of good quotes on this show alone to support the gamers against Wall Street movement. So let's get it popping.